Today we're going to unbox the MOGA PowerA mobile gaming clip for the Xbox One and Xbox One S and X controllers. So this allows you to attach your smartphone to an Xbox One controller. The idea is to give you a better gaming experience on your smartphone, whether it's a local game on your phone or a web-streamed game over Microsoft's xCloud service or Google Stadia or others that are out there. And the unique bit about MOGA's solution here is that it has a couple of joints to allow you to adjust the phone relative to the controller for the best viewing angles. Let's get started. We're going to use our little handy blade and cut at the seam. There we are. Okay. So we have the unit itself and a little manual showing the various steps to get the phone in and to adjust it, various languages. So now looking at the unit itself, there you go, PowerA. Here we have the MOGA gaming clip, an Xbox One X controller, just the stock controller with the stock battery cover, and a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus smartphone with a Spigen Clear case. So looking at the mobile gaming clip, there are 2 points of articulation here, and so if we loosen them up with the thumb screws here, we can get quite a range of motion. So this is where the controller goes, and so the first step is to clip this in. So it goes in nicely, right like that. And as you can see, all of the key buttons on the front, including the Xbox button, are all accessible. And the micro USB port and the pairing button here are also accessible. One thing to note is the bottom port is not accessible in case you have anything that requires that port, but for the vast majority of cases that should be fine. So if we tighten this up, okay. So if you look at the top part of the gaming clip, this is where your phone goes. There's a rubbery pad here to create some friction, and it has the MOGA logo on there. This part has a spring-loaded expansion section to hold your phone. So we're going to load this phone in here. And one thing to note here is that this fits nicely here with the Note 10 Plus in this case, but there's not a ton of extra room if we expand it to the max. So if you have this kind of phone with a bulkier case, or if you have an even larger phone, let's say in the future, that's something to be aware of. But given most phones are not a lot wider than this phone, you should probably be okay, at least as of late 2020. The articulation points here mean that we get quite a range of adjustment. You can adjust this, so if we want something flatter. One thing to keep in mind here is that the phone, in this case, is quite heavy relative to the controller, so you gotta make these adjustment points fairly tight, otherwise you could easily have it sort of flop down. But the nice thing is these do get pretty tight if you screw them in, and so you can get a pretty secure sort of fit. So you can do this kind of thing where it's more parallel if you're playing up like this, or you could make it perpendicular. So this works quite nicely, and it's pretty comfortable to play with. We tested the game clip with some games on Xbox Game Pass via xCloud, and they work quite well. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and post any comments or questions below. Also, visit our site at techautos.com for more content.